And we are live, finally. We had 45 minutes worth of technical difficulties, but now we are up and running. Welcome to We the People. We come to you each and every Thursday in the 2 o'clock and you that you have power and say so in your governance, that education is our passport to the future because tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Government and how it impacts you, government impacts each and every one of us 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So we have to get smarter about it. I'm your host, Angela Taylor, and we got a packed house today because we're going to talk about 45, or the convicted felon, as I promoted it, and the House Republicans who are trying to enable it and shoot down democracy. As my favorite millennial and co-host, Michaela McCrae, said, we are fighting for the soul of this country. Once we get the soul back, then we can do the other work, but we're fighting for the soul of this country. We also have, of course, Tanya Sweat, who we need a county executive who is an honest broker. We haven't had that for a few minutes. So in the general election in November, there will be a line to write in. It wasn't one in the primary, but it's going to be one in the general election. Write in, when you get to the Prince George's County Executive, please write in TONYA space SWEAT. Because again, she has been out there on the front line helping folks keep their homes, educating folks about what the rights are, and just helping within the community. We need that. We have not had that in a while. So again, Tanya Sweat should be your writing candidate in November. Also, we have one surprise guest. My daughter, Mimi, your go-to girl, Phillips. If you need it, she got it. Okay, she has her portable cocktail business. And I'll let her talk about that, at the end of the show. But we got to get back to taking y'all to school. And we also have Kenny Jones, my favorite racism and system person consultant. Because again, as Michaela has taught us, the church has our women, the schools have our kids, and the prisons have our men. And Kenny Jones is a retired Metropolitan Police officer, also the Jump Out Squad. So he can speak to that aspect of it. But again, the topic today, because I've seen comments fly back and forth online about Trump's conviction. And I would just like to know, and I'm going to these folks individually, because I do have some stuff written down that I'm going to ask them individually. But I'm going to get their perspective. I'm going to start with my absolute favorite millennial, Michaela McCrae.
You want me to start?
I do indeed. To speak to
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Which one?
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the convicted felon, period, and the House of Representatives and how they're trying to overthrow democracy. And I know you got something to say about it.
Well, I can just give you the facts. I'm gonna just come with the facts, and then we're gonna toss it to Miss Tanya over here because I got some questions.
Okay.
For the people.
Okay.
All right. So the question right now, on the consensus of me studying and researching what the argument is right now. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So Trump has been found guilty of 34 counts.
Felony counts, right, Ms.
34 felony counts of the 88 counts.
Mm-hmm.
That he falsifying business documents is out of Miami.
Mm-hmm.
No, this was from New
New
York.
York. Mm-hmm.
So
The conviction is in the state of New York.
New York, yeah.
Okay, so this is why we love facts. And they are first degree on a scheme to conceal and disrupt the 2016 election.
Mm-hmm.
That's in D.C.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
The Attorney General is Melvin Bragg. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The state's attorney.
Yeah.
The states of New York. And so basically, just from what I figured out, has heard a presidential immunity case relating to the criminal charges.
Mm-hmm.
We have no precedent for indicting a sitting president in official capacity. We have a civil president with Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
He was never indicted.
He was never
But
indicted.
never criminal. Okay.
This is the first time we've had a president indicted on criminal charges. And a lot of the
and
things.
taken to trial.
And found guilty.
And found guilty. All that. Look,
All that.
we just make sure y'all got the facts.
All that.
The courts have to decide if he gets criminal immunity or complete immunity.
No.
No.
The Supreme Court, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, can't intervene in a state case.
Well, if he gets presidential
no
immunity.
Such thing as ex-presidential immunity.
no
Ain't no
such
such thing.
But that's where that's what they're saying. Like
They want to create the rules.
right.
Okay.
They're going to create the rules.
And the Supreme Court has to be them to decide that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Supreme
So
Court
I
now has that case.
That is
Mhm.
It has been argued.
Mhm.
We're waiting on their ruling.
Mhm.
right. We remember we're just here right now. I'm just bringing the facts.
That's the
Okay.
fact.
Just
We're
make
waiting
mis-
on
I'm
their
just
decision.
wanting to know what you think.
Oh,
That's
what I
where we
think?
going around
Oh.
because there have been a lot of opinions going back and forth online
Oh.
as well as on the news. And I've looked at even, Fox as much as I can stand it, CNN and MSNBC.
Oh, okay. Well, you just want my thoughts. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
y'all leave y'all to your own facts. All right. So here are my thoughts. So basically, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't have the magic answer. But one thing that I do know that we're getting ready to see right now is the veil is getting ready to be lifted. We're getting ready now to have frontline conversations about how certain people can circumnavigate through the criminal justice system and what that in turns will do to how we view this thing we think is democracy. And I think one of my biggest things about the entire situation, though, is I do not think it's by happenstance who brought the charges against him is black, that the women who are supposed to be dealing with pretty much all of the people that are holding
In his ass are people of color.
are people of color.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I'm naive to.
Except one.
Is it just one? I thought it was two. So
No,
it's just
two,
one.
but in the federal case
Mhm.
being run by a white man.
Okay, so but even seeing like that dynamic and realizing historically how the narrative can go, I think it'd be very interesting to see how everything plays out. We're getting ready to have to deal with a lot of things that we have hidden, or not even hidden, because I think it's been frontline, but
It's been in our face.
a lot of things that we have decided to admit certain truths about. I don't think we're no longer at that place now. You have to pick a side, and it goes down to us having really the fight for the soul of America.
Now,
And
Tanya, I do want to know your opinion on it, but I remember, I don't know, when I asked you directly, how is he able to run? And you said the 14th Amendment, we're talking about the letter of the law. It says that you cannot serve in an office, but you can run
You can run.
for the office.
You can run.
Now, what happened? Well, I'm not even going to. So just give me your thoughts on that and
We are
these
going
convictions.
to have straight up a day of reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
We're approaching it. My friend and yours, the damn jail.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they took who had criminal histories coming from England.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they took people who immigrated here who had a criminal background. They were in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
They were in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Look it up. You think I'm lying? I'm a Southerner. Trust
Okay,
me.
but
I
it's all
studied
right.
this.
But continue, because we
So
need two more
when
people
you
to
look
get
at
to.
the founding fathers and what they were writing in the U.S. Constitution, they didn't even consider the fact that somebody who was a criminal would run for the presidency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you think about the fact that back then slaves were not considered citizens, so we had no right to vote, so they never even thought about us when it came to this issue. I believe the founding fathers also thought and believed that the electorate would take care of it by not voting for somebody who has criminal background.
Right.
Because back in the day, 400 years ago, if you were a criminal, you were a pariah.
Yeah.
You were not welcomed into
communities,
common
period.
society. You were an outcast.
Right.
We don't do that anymore.
Well, we definitely need to.
So we are now going to have a day of reckoning. What in the hell are the morals of this country, and what do we believe in? And I hear the comments on social media. You're damn real. If you're a felon, you can't vote when you're sitting in jail.
That's true.
In some states, if you're a felon, you cannot run for office. You lose other rights as a felon. So now, as a country, as a nation, are we going to say it's okay for our leader, our chief executive, the man who represents all 330 million of us, are we going to say it's okay for him to be a felon?
Okay. Kenny, your thoughts?
First of all, Donald Trump has he has awakened a sleeping giant. Because all of these issues existed before he came.
Right.
We all knew they were there, but nobody challenged the system. And now, even Hillary tried to tell us, hey, y'all don't want this dude in office. You know, just like his slogan was on her campaign, lock her up. Hey, nobody's hollering, lock him up. Why?
I am.
No, but you don't hear those chants.
I know.
So
That's
when
true.
you say, but so it's really the fact that they are being choked by their own rules because they created this justice system. They went by the rules. And if Donald Trump wants to go on the plateau that he can identify with Black America, well, you sure can now. Because when you look at it, he's the one who was sued for rental discrimination.
Right.
He's the one who petitioned for the Central Park Five to be executed for something that they didn't even do.
Right.
He's the one who will have all of these racial issues, but people don't seem to see it. You know, people see it, but they want to, but they see what they want to see. Okay, but Donald Trump has a history of narcissism, sexism. They talk about the convictions of what he's been convicted of here on these 34 counts. They ain't even talking about the fact that he was convicted on sexual assault.
Right. Exactly.
You know, he had to pay all of this money to E. Jean Carroll. You know, these are the things that they put on the back burner because when you really put it up, this man is a serial whatever.
He's a criminal.
He's a criminal.
Straight up.
And
no
remember
checks
what he said. And then how can these people sit back here and say, okay, we're going to vote for Donald Trump? Half those MAGA people are veterans. They're veterans. They're those psychos that were in the Marine Corps. They're these people who were Green Berets. These people are dangerous and psychotic. And these are the people who he have following behind him. So now, most of them are veterans.
Many of them are. I won't say most.
Okay, well, a lot of them are veterans. But yet, how are you going to stand beside, you be a veteran, and you're going to stand behind somebody on Veterans Day, on Memorial Day, who sells, you come home with a limb missing, arms, legs missing, brain contusions and everything, and he going to call you a sucker for going over there?
Exactly.
And he's a draft dodger?
Exactly.
But you're going to follow him? What's wrong with this picture?
Okay, hold tight. Okay, turn the mic to Mimi, your go-to girl. Okay, your turn.
What's wrong with the picture is we are living in the Kim K generation.
Who's Kim K?
Kim Kardashian.
Everything is about likes. Everything matters about who's liked, who's popular. That's all it is. You don't have to. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to have accomplished anything. You just have to do something that somebody else likes and something that someone else can
Promote.
so they can what like they associate with. They, you know, that's pretty much it. You know, you have this whole generation. That's what's happening. Nobody really cares about records. I mean, about what you've done, and they don't care. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. The law is so beautifully complicated. I think that's why I love watching law. And just like the Bible, we can all read the same thing. You could get a different meaning from that.
Right.
And with the law, you can read this, but you can twist it to mean whatever you want it to mean. And I believe that's what's going to happen in this country. This country is not ready to send
Go ahead.
a white man to jail especially not a former sitting president. So even though he's had how many
lawsuits,
convictions, the actual felony convictions, he's not going to do a day of jail time.
Okay,
No.
I do not receive that.
I know you don't receive it.
Oh, no, I'm just saying.
I don't want it to happen.
We'll find out on July 11th.
But
Yeah,
they are going to find, and the reason why they're going to find a way is because just like we watching this whole Diddy thing go down, he got dirt on all of them too. So folks don't want their shit out. So they're going to make sure that he's not going to do a day.
The whole time,
And I know-
it's going to go to Michaela next.
But I know a whole lot of black men that are convicted felons that can't get a job.
Yeah, exactly.
He gonna be able to. Folks gonna be. His phone is gonna ring off the goddamn hook.
It's all about the money.
Okay,
And
then it'll be my turn. Okay.
Yeah, and then too, can y'all hear me? And then too, I think we really have to get to the point where we understand. I agree with you because, you know, we're fighting against the old way America was ran, and then the new way that America is ran. Most people get their understanding of how political and governmental affairs are presented based off of news outlets and like social media. Most people don't have intellectual and stimulating conversations where we're coming to an awareness outside of our own understanding. So if that's the foundation of us right now as a people, you're absolutely right. If you have war veterans, if you have people who are direct descendants of slave masters, and this is their foundational mentality, although this is the first time that they have protection, you know, from you it being, you know, what is it, current events, for this being their first time, these people didn't just disappear. You know, they got a little more clever. They got a little more covert about how they presented their racism and their bigotry. Now they're going to have a front line and a reference of a actual president going through this system as their way of defend either in faith of or in opposition to.
Well, here's what I have to say, and of course I wrote my stuff down. If a man with a pattern and practice of cheating his customers, vendors, and business partners, anybody who deals with him, he's going to cheat you. That's anybody. Anyone who casually betrays his family members, his bloodline, he's going to betray your butt too. He ain't going to think about you.
That's been proven.
Anyone who lies as casually as breathing, like that Bama does, he's going to lie to you. So I'm having a hard time, black man sitting across the table from me.
Well,
But
I
Okay.
think that first of all, how do you? Because first of all, it's dope fiend mentality. Because if anybody who's been around a drug addict know, a drug addict will lie to you he'll tell you that your shirt is blue, and he believes that. He's very convincing because that's what he believes. He's lived such a privileged lifestyle that he has been accepted. Everything has been given to him, and he feels like he's above everything else. Now, when you look at his family history, they're German. They're not. His mannerisms are Hitler. When you look at his ideology, it's Hitler. It's Nazi. But when you look at his mannerisms, it's Mussolini all day long.
But here's another thing too, Kenny. Germany has, and I'm going to say atoned, for lack of a better word, for what they did to the Jews. You're not going to have that as far as today. They really, no, we're not going back. We're not doing that no more.
The Germans have that.
Yeah,
United.
So,
But if you bring,
but you
most
brought
of those
that
European
attitude.
They brought that attitude.
Okay,
here.
got you.
But what you just said was that if he would do this to, his family or do this to this person, why wouldn't he do it to you?
Exactly.
It's the same concept that a lot of women have, that they are the side chick.
Well,
and they really believe, hold
on.
up, concept. They think that what they have is magical, and you're not going to do it to me. You did it to her, but you're not going to do it to me. So what's the difference?
That's
Well,
true.
it's the same.
Okay,
Wait a minute, but here you go.
That's
But
like
see,
Kenny.
when you go back to that European mindset,
Right.
I mean, Trump, his family is German.
Right.
How many of his wives were?
Yeah.
I mean,
One.
so but see, all his family, they have that belief system that we are subservient. So if you bring that mentality, and he's already said he's going to be a dictator.
Yeah.
That's no doubt. When somebody tells you who they are,
You better
believe them
believe it.
because he showed.
Or something.
Listen to me. Everything that the civil rights movement stood for, they have continually taken it away.
Yeah.
Well,
They taken it away.
what did the civil rights contend
We had
for?
affirmative action.
Okay.
They signed that law.
Okay.
We had
Voting,
We had.
access to.
And what
all
has
the
that done
public
for the black
amusement.
people?
It's done a lot for the
What has
black
it done?
people.
We got our first black president. What did that do for black people?
Listen, Obama wasn't a black president. He
Mm.
was everybody's president.
No.
Exactly.
Even black people
No,
didn't understand that.
he was.
He was more so their president than he
No.
was. Let me argue to you
Wait,
why.
now, ho. We are getting out of control.
But can
We
I
gotta
ask-
listen.
Wait a minute. Listen to what I'm trying to
One
say.
second, what can I? Let me ask you this, Michaela. What is the black issue as a whole? Because, like I said earlier, before we were on air, all black people come from different socioeconomic backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
My issues are not like I'm not poor, so somebody that's poor, I can't relate to having my lights cut off and live and having to go to the mailbox to get for my mama to get money to take care of us. So everybody, we don't all have one black problem. So what was it that Obama, and this is a question I've asked many folks,
Right.
what was it that he
What was
was
the black
supposed
issue?
to do
Right.
as a black president? Because as I remember it, the whole world, we were on the verge of going back into the Great Depression.
Yes,
because
we were.
AIG
Absolutely.
was going bankrupt, and we all know if it's not insured, it has no value.
Mm-hmm.
And AIG insures everything. So he had to come in and fix everything. He wasn't able to come in and just be the first black president and have a day and like,
Yeah.
I made it.
They want-
He ain't had that. So he had to come in and fix a whole bunch of somebody else's shit just so we could live. So as a black man, what was he supposed to do?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked.
I'm listening.
When you're looking at no, black people are not a monolith. We don't all need the same thing. But there are certain aspects of our lives as black people that we could benefit from.
You're not
having.
answering the question. You're evading it.
No, I'm not evading. I'm giving you the context before I, jump right into the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Give me a second. And so basically, there's certain things like protection from the law, from being abused, from police brutalities. Okay. There's certain things like, equal opportunity across all sectors. There's certain aspects that are put into place where black people can never get past. There's environmental laws that could have been passed to help to where certain chemicals aren't put into the waters in certain communities. When you're looking at, even when you're talking about the report that you're reading online, the type of implications that black people go through on a day-to-day basis, it's been studied. There was absolutely nothing done for us.
I got to stop you. I got to stop you for that because now you are showing me you don't know how government works.
I do know how government
you
works.
can't. Not if you can make those changes. He could not do that.
But I think that's where the double that's where I think the double standard comes from that we clearly cannot see. Although Trump can do it though. He can do anything that he wants to do because he has a system of people that will employ his same like-minded behavior, right? He knew before he even got out of office, I need this person to do this, I need that person, I need to appoint this person, I need to appoint that person. So it goes back to if we never thought that Obama could do it, then how can we argue and say that we do live in a democracy?
Well,
I often said that I don't think we do.
Okay, well it can't be both truths. It cannot be both truths.
But the question to you was, what could Obama have done for the black people?
He could have done.
And again, he's got government is a checks and balances kind of thing. The president is primarily a figurehead. The House of Representatives is where everything starts.
But how can we argue that right now when what we're talking about when it comes to Trump?
Because
we can say that put it
because
right
his
beside
party is in charge of the House of Representatives.
Until we get out there and get these Marjorie Taylor Greens, Jim Jordans, and all of those folks out of office, we're going to have this problem. Because first of all, you have to look at the fact that Obama was a president for everybody, but those same people, no different than Joe Biden, he can suggest these laws, but they are not. He has to go through
a process.
But the suggestion of those laws and what the laws are and what they're asking and the denying of those laws, it perpetuates a narrative, a very clear narrative.
Who's denying those laws?
Well, because we know how politics work, we know who's denying the laws. We know these people that.
You can't blame it on Obama. You can't blame it on
So then that means you can't blame it on Trump.
Hold tight. Yeah, absolutely.
How does it work? How can't it work the same?
Okay, I will tell you. But Tanya's her
I'm just giving these looks, Miss Angela.
okay, yeah. So and yeah, I need to hear from you. Mm-hmm.
This is complex.
Well, yeah, it definitely is.
And government
And
is very complex. And law is very complex.
It
and
is.
that is government.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I'm going to say this.
Mm-hmm.
We always want to point the finger at somebody else.
Exactly.
Obama didn't do it. Biden didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Biden ain't doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Robinson didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
RFK didn't do it.
Yeah,
Kennedy
going
didn't
down
do
the
it.
line.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
whoever you want to call.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
I need y'all to pick up the mirror.
Exactly, because it's a we
And
the
I'm
people government.
and I'm gonna get in trouble, and it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Democracy does not work because when you got
You got to participate.
100,000 out of 555,000 registered voters showing up at the ballot box,
Mm-hmm.
the majority is not electing our representatives.
True.
When you look at the primaries nationwide,
Mm-hmm.
1/12,
Mm-hmm.
1/12 of the registered voters have been showing up at the ballot box.
Mm-hmm.
That's why democracy doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we don't have a democracy, because the people are not participating. The people are not active.
Mm-hmm.
The majority is not raising their voices at the ballot box.
Okay.
Now, you want to talk about what President Obama did, because I served under President Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Michaela,
Mm-hmm.
everything you said he could have done, he did. Let me tell you why you still have trash dumps in the African American neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
I'm living in one.
Mm-hmm.
Because we elect people at the local level who all they give a damn about is the money.
Mm-hmm.
And so you dangle a little check in front of them, and they let everybody dump their damn trash in your backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Prince George's County right now accepts trash from Montgomery County, Howard County, Baltimore, Anne Arundel County, and the damn state of Virginia, because our elected officials have given these people a permit and let them bring it into our backyards. I cannot blame President Obama for that.
Yeah.
He passed laws. Not only did he pass laws, he had the EPA issue regulations to say that's a no-go.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to our elected officials in Prince George's County, and I'm picking on my home county because it's a majority African-American county, and we suffering because of this bull.
Mm-hmm.
When he put the regulations in place to say don't do it,
Mm-hmm.
and then we elect people in our county council
Mm-hmm.
and in our county executive office
Mm-hmm.
who give out the damn permits
We're
to
so annoyed.
bypass the federal law
Mm-hmm.
and allow us to be poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
But we blame the president. It wasn't the president who did that to us. It was the elected officials on the local level.
But this
Who
is
did
what,
that?
again, and this is what we need the clarity on. People do not know how government works. People are busy, and I like that you said we need to hold up the mirror, because we're busy pointing at, people. When I talk to people prior to the last general election, it was the president is supposed to do this, that, or the other. And I just say, go to the internet, look up the duties of the president. Go to the internet, look up the duties of the House of Representatives and that kind of thing. And we've had discussions, and they will tell me, and these are people in my generation, I'm older than everybody in this room, I didn't know that.
President Obama stopped a damn oil line from coming from Canada through the heartland of this country.
Yeah.
Do you know who repealed that executive order and let that damn oil line come anyway?
Mhm.
There it is, y'all said.
But that's the thing. That's the only thing I can say that he's done in office is undid everything, or try to undo everything that Obama put into place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw one more at you, and then I'm going to give you the mic back. President Obama and President Biden, he was the vice president, then fought like hell to get us a national health care bill, insurance.
Yeah.
How many of us black folks sign up for the damn insurance, and some of us can get it for free?
Mm-hmm.
That's cute. I like that. I like how you rolled that one in there.
Mm-hmm.
But my whole thing is,
And on the other hand, too, it was some of the Republicans who helped design that bill who fought against it because his name was attached to it.
that's cute.
I'm going to let that
We exposing overt racism. We like that. We like that.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about that in 2 weeks.
We like them topics. My only thing is, I've said this numerous times before. The Democrats and the Republican are two fangs on the same snake. And,
Gotcha.
And so I'm down with we ride out at dawn, overthrow the country. We giving Tea Party 2.0, and that's why and that's why just because you are of the darker brother, you know what I'm saying? Just because Langston Hughes, you came out the kitchen, I get that. My whole thing about it is we cannot. And I'm glad the narrative is open to talk about Trump and Obama, because the general consensus shifts when we talk about Obama. Then it gets to the conversation of, well, who did he have in the House and in the Senate? But when it comes to what Trump has going on, not once have we talked about the House and the Senate, because we understand that the power that he holds, no matter who is backing him.
Time out. I always talk about it.
But Miss Angela,
people don't know.
And I get
that's
that.
Where it starts.
I get that, but I'm not sure that narrative is 100% true. We've been saying it since day one, wholeheartedly. But this election is showing us that based off of who you are, what you look like, where you come from, who your homeboys are, and who your homeboys are not, you can do whatever you want when you get into that position. Because it doesn't matter who is the Democratic elective of North Carolina or who is the Republican senator. It doesn't matter that anymore if Trump gets elected. It's because he knows that whoever's in there, their psychological narrative is going to be, we're going to back whatever it is that you have going on, because we know that it's in the better interest of us as white people and our white supremacy.
A majority.
But it's not all white people.
Black people, blue people, anybody that's
it's the minority of the people who are letting him do whatever the hell he thinks he wants to do.
Exactly.
It is the minority. Look at who's showing up at the ballot box.
That's it.
Because
I need y'all to vote.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Kenny. It's your turn, and then we go on to.
First of all,
because Malika's got
so
a.
gullible to intimidation.
You said
people feel powerless.
Yeah, they do.
That's
the apathy.
That's why they're not going. I'm just saying. That's why they're not going.
Just
they
wait your
feel
turn.
powerless.
Wait your turn.
Yeah.
But we are so gullible to.
Put that microphone in front of you.
We are so gullible
Thank
to
you.
intimidation. I mean, because we have people here who. There are a lot of people in this country who really don't want Trump in office, but they're afraid. I mean, who can tell you? Who would have thought that you'd have had a criminal on trial bringing mob bosses into the courtroom? That's strictly intimidation. You know, when you're talking about threatening judges, threatening witnesses, let somebody else do that. People have went to jail for years for less than that.
Exactly.
You know, so how are you going to sit here and say he's a good person when you got all of these? I mean, his own fixer. You know, he will turn on anybody. This is your lawyer. This is the guy that you had do all your dirty work. You even turned on him, and now you getting mad. But yet you have. Wait a minute. You know,
Malika's next.
Wait a minute. Remember, anybody? You probably remember what was J. Edgar Hoover's biggest power. J. Edgar Hoover's power was the fact that he had something on everybody. How did J. Edgar Hoover get started? Wait a minute.
I agree.
Yeah, and see, J. Edgar Hoover, what was his strength? He worked at the Library of Congress. That's what got him into the FBI, because he's attention to detail. Trump is not a smart man, but he's smart enough to know how to get people around him.
Oh, he's a
to do what he
businessman.
wants to do.
He
Yeah,
is smart.
He's a smart businessman.
That's his biggest superpower. Because everybody thinks he's not smart.
I agree.
He's been taught by the
shit.
best. Yeah, but I tell you
For
what.
sure.
Put the microphone.
He knows people.
And he knows business.
That's the thing.
No,
It
he's
ain't
got
even
dirt on people.
Well, good.
Come on.
same goddamn thing.
Well, here's the thing. No, because before
No, it's same
because
thing.
before he started running for office, when he first started, you had Lindsey Graham called him a crook.
Yeah, everybody did, and all of a sudden.
Everybody called him a crook.
You called him a crook,
They
and what
called
does it
him
do?
sleazy, and now even down to Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is even on his side now. So what is he promising these people? What do you have on these people that made him just all of a sudden say
Flip.
Everybody
There's
like a
some-
bad boy.
No, he ain't got
Who
nothing to do
doesn't
with
want to be on the winning team?
Yeah.
Even
Trump has
as crooked
failed.
as it is.
I agree.
But what I'm saying is,
Trump has
who
failed
does
at
not?
everything he's touched.
And
No, he
he's,
hasn't.
And hold up,
We
and
can't
he's
say that.
still
What? Tell
successful.
me what he hasn't failed at.
This man with absolutely no experience did the big one. He got elected to presidency, and that's a big thing.
But tell me a business.
But
that was
he got
successful.
elected because of what Tanya said and what Malika
People
said.
not showing up to
Voter
vote.
Apathy.
Got
People
you.
feel powerless because they don't understand that they do have power.
Okay,
And they don't understand that because when I was in school, we were taught that.
I
we
got
show
you.
up.
But I think we should not be naive on this good old day in June to think that everybody was just like, nah, it's too terrible, people, we not gonna do it. No, it was a lot, especially down there in Virginia. Who am I voting for? Oh no, you ain't gotta worry about that. I promise you. But but that's what I'm saying. You have to, in order for us to really be able to articulate and help people, you have to be honest of what the narrative is. You really have to. In my generation, I tell you, I was there when Trump got elected. I remember my campus shutting down. I remember my professors coming there drunk because they just could not believe what happened. Like, I remember this. A lot of the people in my generation, because I worked the night of the polls. Like, we did the presentation of the numbers coming in. Majority of the people in my generation that were in college at that time voted the interests of their grandparents and their parents. They didn't vote their interests at all.
The
Hold
majority
yeah.
of the
Let me help y'all
people
with
in my lifestyle went through the riots and understood that if you hadn't have your buddy in the house by the time the sun went down.
And I get you, but this is the first time, because we got to look at how numbers shift. This is the first time that we have so many generations at the polls, and they all are on different wavelengths.
I just had a thought, Miss Angela.
Okay.
I just had a thought.
Okay, let's have it.
I'm gonna apologize because I keep saying vote, and I don't think you said people don't realize they have the power.
Yeah.
And that did something for me. My brain started turning.
Okay, it's okay.
You're absolutely right. They don't know they have the power. People wonder why the numbers are so high for registered voters. Let me help y'all out. If you got a driver's license in your pocket, you got the right to vote.
Right.
If you got a driver's license, I need you to show up. You don't have to register. Because I get sick of people saying, girl, I need you to come out to this voter registration drive. For what? That's a waste of my time. And I'm going to tell you why.
Well, I already know why, but go ahead.
I'm glad, you know, I know you know. And, yeah, but we got to educate some folks.
Yeah.
Y'all don't have no more damn voter registration drives. And you can thank President Bill Clinton for this one. Motor voter laws.
That's it.
When you get a driver's license, you are automatically registered to vote unless you opt out, number one. You are not a citizen of this country, number two, because there are some states that do give a driver's license to people who are not citizens. Or number three, your state says as a felon, you cannot register to vote. This is what I'm telling you. If you got a driver's license in your pocket, I need you to show up in November and let them tell you at the polls you can't vote because either you're not a citizen of this country, you are a felon and your state says you cannot vote, or that third reason I just gave you, you opted out, we took you off the rolls. Show up. You already have the power. Thank you, President Clinton, for giving us the power. You don't have to sign a document other than the document you sign when you get your driver's license. It's an opt-in system, not an opt-out. So anybody who can drive a damn car in the United States with the driver's license issued by a state, you've been opted in whether you wanted to or not. And if you did not want to, you had to physically check a box, sign your name, and date the form saying you did not want to be on the rolls. You have been opted in, and I need you to show up. You've got the power.
Okay. But hold up. Let me add this. Because I'm out there with the people every day. And I have all different kind of people.
Gotcha.
Because everybody got money, but everybody don't get their money the right way. The same kind of way, I'll say that.
Yeah, the right way.
Yeah. So, when you have, because I talk to the people all the time about, you know, their rights, you know, in government. And when they sit and tell me, well, Hillary Clinton got the popular vote, but Donald Trump got the presidency. What do you say to those people?
That's the same way that.
No, I mean,
Biden won the vote.
That was a rhetorical question.
But Biden got the.
What rhetorical mean? Don't answer.
What I'm saying
that
is,
answers itself.
those people don't feel like their vote matters.
Yeah.
So you tell them, and I hear what you're saying, Ms. Tanya, and you're absolutely right. But if you feel like you're already powerless, what is the purpose of showing up? Because in their mind, the Electoral College is in place
to pick who they want.
To put in who they really want. So it don't matter if you show up in droves and vote. And you go and you got the church buses and the charter buses going to pick up Miss Mabel and everybody else to get them to the polls. And the kids that just graduated high school and they get them to the polls. It doesn't matter because in the end, democracy to me is an illusion.
Now, let me
to me.
I want to.
That's why he's being charged in the state of Georgia.
Mimi, I want to say this to you, darling. I feel you. I hear you. Yes, ma'am. The Electoral College is a problem.
Yeah.
That's why you've got to understand the government, not just at the federal level, but way down to the local level. And I need you to show up and vote, not just for the presidency. I need you to vote for every position that's on the ticket, right down to the school board, the county
that's why I was getting ready to
council,
bring that.
Right,
Absolutely.
I need you to vote for the attorney general of your state. I need you to vote for the local elected officials in your general assembly, whether you call them representatives or delegates, whether you call them state senators or commissioners. I don't give a damn what you call them. And I need you to vote for everybody because
we don't know who they are.
The Electoral College is made up of the people that you send to your state general assembly. So if you don't vote in your local elections and your state elections, you're damn right. It don't matter what you do in the presidential election because you already gave your power to somebody else.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this because I like the question that Mr. Kenny asked. You know, like, because I sound like a Trump supporter.
I don't, but continue.
But I understand why because, you know, I'm not just going to jump on one side because it feels good. Like, I'm very critical of all aspects of government. So it would sound
well,
like
you should be.
Right. But I do have a question with us being here at this table today. You know, what do we tell? Because the question that I get, I've gotten what Mimi has gotten, but I've also gotten another question. Well, why would I vote for the lesser of two evils? What does that do for us as a people? You know, and then when you're looking at like the lady that we don't say her name that got your name. You know, how do we decide, you know, how can we get past those people when those people are backed by, you know, what is it? I don't know, like conspiracy or whatever you want to call it. Like, if we say that, well, there's not one monolithic way to I guess release the shackles of all black people, then what is the agenda? What is it that we're fighting for? If we can't all get on the same page, and if I guess the poor people can't get all on the same page, if the middle class people can't get all on the same page, if some of us are
it is my turn, and I'm going to take my time.
Yeah, and what would you say to someone that comes to you like with that question?
Here's what I would say, going back to what Tanya said. There was a point in time where we educated everybody about how government works.
Yeah.
After Johnson, because people call him a Dixiecrat, yada, yada, yada. But if you read the book Nixon's Piano, which you are reading, you see that of all them presidents from Washington to Clinton, the only one who did something for us was him. He had a plan in the Essential Kerner Commission report.
Absolutely.
A workable plan that the next president just threw out the window because of systemic racism.
100%.
But and increasingly, they started eroding what they taught in the school.
Absolutely.
So it's incumbent upon us to do.
And I get that. And I respect that 100%. I'll listen. All four of us here will listen, but in reality, because that's not something that we can just decide. We're on summer vacation now. You know, some students have graduated from high school, getting ready to go to college. 100%. What is the narrative? Because we've clearly realized that we're not all on the same page. It's not a monolith, and I think it's by design that we don't want and need all the same things. But what is it that we need to ask for to be able to galvanize as a community for our black vote if we all can't get on one page? If Trump isn't,
all right, you're going to let me answer the question or
no,
what?
I'm sorry. You know, you got to miss Angela.
We got,
but for who?
Yeah, but again, we have to the soul of America, the ideal of democracy. If we know that it's a we the people government, if we know that it's we that have to show up to the polls and put people in office, The mistake that I know that we have made is we show up every 2 years and every 4 years because somebody told us
For sure.
that somebody died so we could vote. No, the
Yeah.
people died so we could have a choice. And we have to take that seriously and run with it. We don't hold folks accountable.
Right. But Miss Angela, one more
Let me
second.
just say this. One thing that we have to determine the differences between a right and a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Now, voting is not a privilege. It's not a right. It's a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We take that for granted.
We
Driver's license is not a right. It's a privilege.
Gotcha.
So when we looking at it takes a privilege to become a right.
Well, define privilege. Because
You don't-
I believe that a driver's license is a right. You have
No,
a
it's
right
not.
that
No,
when
it's
you.
not a right.
How's a privilege? Meaning, like, if you mess up, you get it taken away?
That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's your right until you mess up, right?
It's a privilege.
Okay. Okay, go
Just
ahead.
like when I was in the school system, these kids didn't understand. They want to act up on the bus. They want to act up on the school bus. I tell them in a minute, that school bus ride is not a right.
Mm-hmm.
Because my mother had to walk while white folks threw bottles at her while she was walking to school when they riding on a bus. So you don't have to. You never experienced those type of things.
Yeah.
See, racism is a lot of different ugly faces. So when you look at what you have rights to and the privileges you have, this is the only country that I know of that we have the privilege and the right.
I'm going to make it simple for you, Michaela, baby. Your rights are found in the Constitution and the amendments thereto. And that can be a U.S. Constitution or a state constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's codified in a law is a privilege because it can be taken away a lot easier than what's in that U.S. Constitution.
That's true.
Or what's in that state constitution.
But I think my question is central around. So we're saying to go, and it's a common question that I'm getting. We're saying go to vote, and I'm never going to be the person to tell you what to do unless you ask. Mm-hmm. But if we're telling people to go and vote, and 10 of Mimi's friends vote for one person,
That's their right.
listen, no, that's what I'm saying. Then that proves the narrative.
No,
Wait
it's
a
your
minute.
right to vote for who you want to vote for.
Because I think I'm going somewhere here with this. I do. At least I'm trying. Right now, what you're saying is not getting us anywhere in America at all. It serves no purpose if Mimi's 100 friends go one way, your 100 friends go another way, and so and so. That means it puts us right back at the space to where our 1,000 people in comparison to white supremacy's, 400,000 votes, it does nothing as a people. So I'm not sure that I can agree with, just go and vote. That serves us no purpose.
What did Malcolm X say? What do we say every single week? What do we say? What did Malcolm tell us? What was his mandate to us? Education is our passport to the future. For tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. We have to prepare these folks. It's not, and I'm going to say it is kind of.
We don't have time. That's what I'm saying.
Let me help you.
But we got to do the best we can do where we are.
I love Michaela. I hear
Okay.
you.
Wait a minute, because she's been itching.
So this is the thing.
Turn the mic to you, please, because
we
they
don't
don't want.
all have the same agenda.
We don't. Mm-hmm.
But we
It's
have
just-
one asking thing, and that's stop racism, right?
This is the thing.
Racism, I hate to say this, baby. Racism will never, ever, ever, ever stop.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this. I have to say this.
Go ahead.
Because I hear you, Michaela, loud and clear. And when I say I hear you, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have this discussion. I have a 22-year-old son. I have this discussion with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have it with my
And-
15-year-old grandson. So.
And when you get overwhelmed, when you get confused, it brings on analysis paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that is.
Yeah.
And that's why I know a lot of people don't show up at the polls.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I tell everybody. When you ask me, how do I decide on who I'm going to vote?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to take care of my house?
Mm-hmm.
What are the issues that are most important to me?
Exactly.
And what is that candidate saying about those issues?
And you
If
vet
that-
'em.
Yes. And then I go back, because I don't want to just judge a candidate on their history, but your history is a predictor of what you're going
Of
to do
your
in the future.
It
And
absolutely
unfortunately,
is.
that's all I got to judge you on is your past.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to go back and look at not just what you say, but does your actions line up with your words?
Exactly.
What have you done? Even if you've never
For
served
the community.
Exactly. Even if you've never served in office before, I want to know what's your record. What have you done? Yes, Miss Angela, for the community. When I ran, people said they don't know who you are. Do y'all know I put a 10-page curriculum vitae on my website? Because I get that. Most people had no clue who I was. I'm a lawyer, but people know me in my circles, not in the circles that I needed to be known to run for office. So I put my life story on Front Street.
Yeah, exactly.
And then told people where you could go to
find
verify what was in my resume, because I know people lie on their resume. Every regulation I wrote, I cited it and told you where you find my name to make sure that officially the government said I did that. The cases that I had done, the ones that I could tell you about, because some cases I can't talk about, some of those cases I put them out there with the case name and the citation in the court, so you could go back to the court and say, they're not going to give you the file unless you pay for it, but they will confirm, yes, she was the attorney on that case file. So you could see as much as I could let you see what I have been doing to serve my community from the time I graduated from college and even before as a child. I wanted people to know that. So if you got somebody running for office and you go back on Google, because Google got a whole lot of information on all of us, and Google tell you this Bama paid over $1,000 to buy a full-page ad to call for the execution of five innocent black and brown men back in the day. And when it came out that they were innocent, proven innocent, which we don't have to do in this country, he said, I'll never apologize for what I did. Boo, that's your record. I can't support you.
Exactly.
Because I got a black man in my house. I call my husband. I got a son, and you were calling for their annihilation.
But here's the deal that I will continue to beat that drum. Just take people to school as you come across them. That's why I came in the studio, because I'm finding too many people who just don't know stuff that I think that they should know. But again, if they don't know, they don't know.
Can I offer another?
Sure, you offer.
But
if you don't know your rights,
you ain't got them.
Yeah.
I worked for lawyers for like 20, 30 years.
But I'm gonna go back to, and I know you can't stand her, Angela also Brooks. A lot of people supported her because of that casino, they have jobs where they can actually just have one job. They can actually take care of their family. Granted, she's done a lot of other questionable things. But when people put things, hold on a second.
Who bought the casino to Prince George's County?
It wasn't her.
I know, but go ahead.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that's who people think. That's the name that's out front.
Oh, yeah.
And we know with politics, it's not about what it is; it's what it look like. If it's shiny and sparkly,
we gonna
we
jump
like,
on it.
ooh, we like that.
Everything that glitter ain't gold.
And we know that as well. But what happens is, and just like with Michaela, was talking about, Obama, and where we have different politicians. People are going to go with their own interests. What's important to them?
I
now.
get it.
But what's important to them now? And that's what and the face of it is
what the face is.
Is what people go with. Just like just like when we was talking.
How do you feel about Tim Scott?
The man from South Carolina?
That was a little rude. You cut me off
wait a minute.
'cause I wasn't
Okay.
finished.
All right.
But I'm
go
just
ahead.
saying, but just like when we was talking about Westmore, when we was talking about Aunt Leslie, and it just goes to show this society, this is what we're dealing with. This is the likes generation.
She said that in the beginning.
But she said, but I'm
Because he
saying
wrote a book.
But it just got to she said he wrote a book, and he's really good looking, and he's very well spoken, and that's what she was gonna vote for. Don't care about, but so many people, that's all they need. They just need you to dress up and look good, and.
But it goes back to my question: how does that benefit your house?
But again, this is what we were saying from the what I was saying from the beginning.
Benefit their house because everybody don't have the same issues.
Yeah, and that's what you said. Hold tight. And you forgot my point. Go ahead and ask her a question about Tim Scott.
Is that the man from South Carolina?
Yes, it is.
He's a Sambo. What do you mean when I think about Tim Scott?
Yeah.
He's a sellout.
Yeah, he is
Clearly.
a Sambo.
But when you talk about how also Brooks raised the property taxes for seniors,
It was
no. I mean, no. We were talking about that in
Yeah.
the salon one day.
yeah.
You know, and then if you have somebody that's not a homeowner,
It don't
they
apply.
look like, well,
Yeah,
it
that
don't-
doesn't matter. to me.
exactly. So that's my point. Is what's important.
No, I
to-
get it.
No, I'm just saying in discussion. What's important to one ain't important to the
To the
other.
next.
But that's
person.
problematic for me.
It's
mainly
problematic,
because
but-
there is no, and I
It's
know,
no black agenda.
It's not even
nationally.
that it's a black agenda. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that all black people need to be like, I ain't for this, because you know, like Miss Tanya said, homeboy, what makes your son any different from them 5 black men? You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? And so for me, I think what my biggest issue is there is no political candidate, house, state, local, and you're not running right now. But you know, there's no
Yes,
political.
she is.
Okay, you are running right now. But not including Miss Tanya, because I see her every week and I know what she's about. But there's no political candidate that I'm like, you know, I'll ride out at dawn for you. Like, they don't even answer the question of what are you willing not to give up on? Like, what are
Right.
what are your morale? What is your morale? And I get it that it's subjective nowadays, but simple morality is a thing that we have to get back to, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. Like, you know. Yeah.
It's easy to say what you would do.
He was a sellout. He was a
But we
Sambo.
don't- But we don't know. This
I
is
know
the
who.
thing.
And Anita Hill. I know
Everybody
who he
will
is.
constantly say what
can
they
talk.
will
We
do
got
and what they
questions.
won't do until you are
Yeah,
in
in
that
situation, you don't know.
You don't know.
So are
'Cause
we?
But here's-
your circumstances. You don't. When your back is against the wall,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna tell you as a mother, because I don't see right now. You are who you have to take care of. As a mom, if my back is against the wall, and I don't feel like I have any other out, and I got to take care of these people, I don't know what I would do. I would like to think what I would do, but I don't know. And I really truly believe that a lot of politicians got into politics to make a change.
Oh
And
no.
Okay.
I said this
Wait a
what
minute.
I
She
believe.
said this is
I said
her,
this is what
she
I would
believes.
like to believe, that they got in it to make a change, and then you see how the game is played. It's not a fair game.
You know, I got